What's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner. This is my last video of the day. This is actually a heartbreaking story. It's about a little 6-year-old boy named James. And his mother and father is in a custody battle for James because the mother wants to raise the boy like a girl. So she enrolled him in first grade under the name Luna. Yeah. And when he stays with his mother, he dresses like a girl. She raises him like a girl. When he stays with the father, even though the father is ordered by the court to honor this diagnosis of gender dysphoria that this, I guess, psychologist labeled him as. They said they described the psychologist of wearing rainbow colors and some type of quack. Maybe she used incense and things like that to determine it. Ouija board, perhaps. But for whatever reason, she feels that James, qualifies, to have gender dysphoria. And they're talking about starting him on hormones, the medicine for his gender transition at 8 years old. And the father says, well, when James is with me and I give him choices to pick between female clothes or male clothes, he always picks male clothes. And others that observes him playing with his biological brother, he plays like a boy. He refuses to use the name James when he's with his mother because he knows she has that expectation, I guess, of him, using the name Luna. And when he's with the father, he refuses to use the name Luna. He only uses the name James. So he identifies as a boy. He plays like a boy, but when he's with his mother, she's insisted on raising him like a girl. And she is suing the father and accusing him of child abuse because he refuses to recognize his son's gender dysphoria and acknowledge him as Luna. Yeah, she's suing him for custody, and she wants him to pay for, get this, pay for the gender transition to take place. And you won't get any rights to see your son. Yeah, she's taking away all of that stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, where did you find her? See, I wanted to get to the meat and potatoes of it, but I'm going, maybe that should have been something y'all discussed prior to getting married. I would be like, are you crazy? Or are you one of those people who are so liberal that you embrace things that can't be substantiated with science? Or are you a person who says, you know what? We're going to force doctors out there to buy into our imagination and our perceptions versus science. Yeah, we're going to have doctors diagnosing people with schizophrenia, people with, what do you call that, anorexia, and all of those things. Because, see, when they look in the mirror, they see themselves as fat, but they're not really fat. They're skinny. And we can't encourage them to continue to miss meals because they got a mental disorder. We want them to understand you're not fat, okay? You're seeing yourself as fat, but you're not really fat. But yet, when it comes down to, this whole gender identity thing, soon as somebody say, I think I'm a girl, okay, no problem. Because you know why? I don't want the liberal media and all of the progressive liberals out there, the snowflakes, showing up at my office accusing me of being anti-homo. I'm homophobic. I'm anti-trans. What is it? You can't call them transvestites. Anti-transgender. How about that? So many technical terms now. You gotta be careful what you say. But nonetheless, so I guess the doctors just tapped out and gave themselves over to witchcraft, to voodoo. You know what? Give them what they want. If they say they're a girl, just say, forget it, you're a girl. But here's the crazy part, is even with the quack science that's going on concerning this, the boy is still showing all the tendencies of wanting to still be a boy. And it seems like the mother is pushing this on him, which is, in my opinion, child abuse. Because how can you take the word of a 6-year-old boy? Now, imagine the damage you do to him. At 6 years old, kids want to be unicorns. They want to be princesses. They want to grow up and be superheroes. All of these imaginary things. Their imaginations are all over the place. So you take the word of a 6-year-old that says maybe one day he was just playing around like Bugs Bunny used to do, and play the girl role for a second, and maybe the mom just saw that like, well, he must want to be a girl. So I guess she just locks onto this and she's encouraging this behavior. And the father is saying, whoa, what are you doing? What are you doing? Let's not get carried away here. Start raising this young man as a woman. And then he hits an age where he says, you know what, mom? I'm mixed up. I'm all messed up. And you force this on me. Now I'm psychologically damaged. Yeah. Now I'm upset with you because why would you let me make that choice at 6 years old? I mean, would you let me go out and purchase a gun? Would you say, son, just because you want to handle a gun, go ahead. You're responsible enough to make good decisions. Yeah, son, you want to stay out all night? Sure, no problem. You want to stay up all night eating sugar? Fine. I mean, I'm not going to say anything because you're old enough to know right from wrong. You're old enough to make those decisions, even though the brain in a male doesn't even fully develop till about 24 years old, but you're ahead of the curve. See, you're 6 years old and you already have concluded that I definitely want to be a girl. And so mom encourages this behavior. Now, what other behaviors should we all just start encouraging because kids want to do it? Okay, son, you like to be a bully. I can't stop that. I have to encourage that behavior. Whatever you want to do, whatever you think is right for you, I'll encourage it. Son, you want to curse? Fine. Son, you want to drink? At 6, you see dad and mom drink. You know what? I want to identify as an alcoholic. Can you pass me the vodka? Pass me the Cavassier? Pass me the Martini and Rosti Asti Spumante? Pass me a 40. Well, what about smoking weed? Let's just let 6 years olds just start doing whatever they want to do. Oh, you want to just go out and take the keys and drive my car around the block? Go down to the playground. Right over to the daycare center and check out the chicks. Go ahead. You're 6. You're old enough to make those choices. I trust you. So if you wouldn't encourage those type of behaviors, if you feel as a parent you have to step in and say, son, you're 6. I know you might think you want to try alcohol, but I'm old enough to know it's not good for you. Son, I know you think that you're a unicorn, but you're not. You're a human. You might imagine you're a unicorn, but you're not. Okay, so why would you encourage a 6-year-old for whatever reason? Because the article doesn't even say what made the mother conclude that the boy wanted to be a girl. Because there's overwhelming evidence, according to the article, of people observing the young man, and he doesn't like being a girl. But his mother, for some reason, I don't know if it's despite the father, because I'm thinking if I was a father and I was heterosexual, which I am, and I'm looking at my son being raised as a little girl, I'm thinking, are you doing this to spite me? Are you trying to drive me to an early grave? And then you got the law backing this mess up. You got some judge just saying, yeah, I gotta enforce this. She has a restraining order against him. He's not allowed to be around the son because it's child abuse. It's child abuse according to them, not to raise the boy like a little girl, but it's child abuse to not acknowledge that the little boy is a little girl. So the father, he's now being put on the spot. She's suing him, and she wants to get complete custody, deny him of seeing his son, and also make him pay for the gender transition at 8 years old. I bet you, and this is the sad part about it, I bet you if you ask every single Democrat that's running for office, how do you feel about this case? I bet you they all say, well, you know what? That's inclusive, and the father has to be tolerant. And we're gonna bring out legislation that supports parents that have to deal with this because we want everybody to just feel. Yeah, I bet you they would say that garbage, no doubt. And practical thinking people, they look at this and they say, this is where we're at. This is what we become. This is how we roll right now, America. And some people, without getting an understanding or asking any politician's wish or stance on some of this stuff, not just this, but some of the other stuff that normally you would look at and say, that's crazy. Yeah, without asking, You just vote them in. And then later on, they're all passing legislation to support stuff like this. Can you imagine 20 years ago if a mother would have been trying to do this? The judge would have been like, what the crap? Bailiff, go get that son, go get the kid, give him to his father right now. Matter of fact, lady, we're committing you somewhere to get yourself together. You can't just be, but now, I mean, what do you want me to do? You want me to get pressured as a judge? Even though in my mind, I'm probably saying this is ridiculous. But if I rule on behalf of the father, because we're now in that phase of castrate men. Men are dumb, stupid. They have no rights. Yeah, we don't want any testosterone leaking out. So let's go ahead and we get them out of here. Always the man is wrong, and we want to elevate women in our society, even if they're not women, even if they're little kids that are boys, but their mother wants them to be a girl, and so we have to elevate that too, just so I can keep my job and not be attacked by all the people on the left concerning this madness. Anyway, this is where we're at. So I'm concerned. I pray for that father. I can't even imagine how he feels. I mean, I'm thinking, I bet you he's like, why did I get involved with this chick? I should have asked up front, you know what? Are you crazy? Are you far left? I need to know these things just in case we have a kid and you decide to raise it as the opposite gender as it was born to be. Find me on Facebook, Twitter. Check out Extreme Tees. The link's in the bottom. They got some Christmas specials. Hey, the promo code is Kevin. Also, if you want to support Kevin and Kevin's Corner, there's a link in the bottom to do that as well. Just click on it, and it'll show you how to do it. Also, find me on Wednesday night, 7:30, live, Kevin's Corner Live. And check me out on Facebook and on Twitter. Hit like, share, and also hit the notification button. God bless you. See you next time in Kevin's Corner. Because this was one of them stories that there was just no way I can make sense out of that nonsense, y'all. God bless.